Hello and welcome to another art house movie review. This time I'm reviewing the film War Pony, directed by Keough and Gina Gammell. So this film really reminded me of the film Songs My Brothers Taught Me, directed by Keough, which actually we reviewed a while back on this channel, and also the film by Roberto Minervini, Stop the Pounding Heart. I think these three films make quite a good collection. This is Riley and Gina's first film as directors, and I thought they were excellent. Now, Riley is the granddaughter of Elvis, and at one level you might think that she's an unlikely candidate to make an authentic film about a native Indian community. But Riley was in the Andrea Arnold film American Honey, some of which was filmed on the Pine Ridge Reservation, and she became friends with two of the actors and visited the reservation afterwards and developed this collaboration with some of the local residents. It's interesting, the link to Andrea Arnold, because I think that you can see similarities between War Pony and Andrea's films like American Honey and even Fish Tank. So apparently the project took quite a few years to develop, and two of the writers are from the local community, and I think it really benefited from this. It feels very naturalistic. It is kind of documentary-like, and most of the actors are not professional, including the two main actors, and they're absolutely brilliant performances. I think sometimes when you have fictional stories with real people from a real community, sometimes it can perhaps be a more authentic representation than a documentary. Because in a documentary, I think there's always an element of performance anyway. And in some ways, perhaps it's better to have the theatrical element explicit. Anyway, this is a low-key story. It's got the potential for big drama, for emotional upheaval. This is a community with a lot of difficulties, but it resists this, which I think is one of the reasons why this film is so successful. Our two main characters are 23-year-old Bill and 11-year-old Matho, and they're both survivors. They're both really resourceful, really entrepreneurial. They're both in difficult situations where they have no choice but to hustle, where both of them are in situations where they have no emotional support and they really have to fend for themselves. Matho, the 11-year-old, for example, is 1 minute riding round on his bike with his friends with the carefree joy of a child, and next minute being strangled by his father. And this certainly isn't an ideal childhood. 23-year-old Bill, you like him right from the start. He could look scary, but you quickly see that he's got a really good heart and a good spirit. And I really like the fact that we're seeing the lives of these two characters run in parallel to each other, and they don't really cross. There's a couple of scenes where there's an overlap, but they don't actually meet until the end of the film. And when they do meet, it's really low key. It's completely in keeping with the film, but it's exactly how you would imagine a meeting between them would go, and there's something rather beautiful about it. There's a white businessman who has all of the power, and he appears to be Bill's friend, but it becomes clear that he's not, and he's exploitative and he's abusive. And so the justice at the end of the film is very satisfying, and I found the story really engaging despite the fact that it was low-key. And it's quite an optimistic ending. You kind of know these two will be okay, even though life will continue to be difficult. I was thinking after this film that American Indian culture is really interesting. The heritage, the history, the traditions, the spirituality. But what happened to these communities scarred them forever, and there's just a constant struggle to survive. And that's really reflected in this film. But I really liked that you felt the presence of American Indian culture, that something of that culture survives despite the way they've been treated. And so the film is thought-provoking as well as being really entertaining, and I definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.